Hi guys, my shadow and I are here today to give you some studying tips, whether it's for final or just for homework or just for an everyday test. Somebody just sent me an email requesting this and I was like, I need a video to film and this is a really good idea. So I think I did a video a long time ago about this on this channel somewhere, but who cares, who knows, I don't know. I just thought I'd kind of update it since things have changed and I'm in college now and I'm a horrible studier, but I know what I need to do and sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't, but I'm going to share that with you. Some of you might have already had your finals. I know my sister's just ended and the high school here just started summer, and I know that I'm out of school now, but a lot of people I know, like up north, I believe like you get out of school a little bit later, like sometime in June / the end of May. So this could be helpful, or you might see this like a year from now when you're looking for studying tips, so that helps too. Number one is start early. Start studying like a week before your test. This is my number one thing that I'm horrible at doing for the most part. Anything you do, if you start like a week in advance and you start studying up to that date, you're going to remember it so much better because you're not cramming it all at once, like on the last day before the test or like an hour before the test or something like that. So you really want to start it ahead, especially for finals, because finals are usually a lot harder, so I find that really helpful for finals. On that same note, create a study guide, create some flashcards. Just something to help you study. Don't just, grab a book and read the book. That's not going to help you as much. What I would do is I had Bio 2, and Bio 2 was really hard for me. I took it back in the fall semester. And so what I would do is in class, we had like a 3-hour long class, so I would do the study guide in class while the teacher was just lecturing because all he did was lecture all class. So I would work on my study guide, I'd go through the PowerPoints, answer the study guide, just type it up on my laptop, and then when I got home I would print it. And then from that day until the test, which was probably about a week, it could be 2 weeks, I would read through the study guide, just read through it, do anything, and then once it got closer to the test I'd start studying harder, but just to kind of read through it so when you start really diving into it, it's not like the first time you're reading it, and just looking for the answers like in a PowerPoint or in a book to type into the study guide is really helpful too, because you have to look for it and you have to see what you're typing. You're not just like reading it and forgetting it. Same thing with flashcards, because flashcards are really helpful. I did this for history back in high school for all my history finals, because he'd give us a list of topics or like vocabulary words that we'd have to know, and so I would just do flashcards, because personally I find studying by myself helps a lot more. If I study with someone else I don't really learn as much, I feel like, so I like studying by myself. That's just how I am. Some people like studying with other people. And on that same token, studying with a friend can help you or it can hinder you, so you just have to figure out what works best for you. What I find works best is I create a study guide, flashcards I could kind of quiz myself, but with the study guide I'll give it to my mom or somebody to just quiz me, and I'll have like the question or the topic and like bold and the answer underneath it. Now say it's like you're taking a math final or a math test, you can't really have someone quiz you. So what I do, I just took calculus for the second time in college. I took it in high school, now I just took it in college and I'm finished with it. But she didn't really give out study guides or anything like that for the final or for our test. But what she did do that was really helpful for the final is she gave us like a list, and what was horrible, it was cumulative, so it was from the whole year, not just like a normal test, so that made it much harder. So what she did was she kind of broke down the test for us. She was like 3 problems will be limits, or 5 will be derivatives, or like whatever, or like area under the curve and yada whatever you learn in calculus. So she broke it down in that aspect, but she didn't give us any like practice problems. So what I always find helpful for math, I go home and I create like a mock test kind of, and I'll just take what she gave me, or I'll just make my own. If I know it's on a certain chapter, I'll go through that chapter and just write down random problems that the answer is like in the back of the book, or just problems that I have from my notes, but I'll just write the problem and not look at the answer and then just close my notebook. That way I can check myself. So that's really helpful. And then the ones I get wrong, I'll rewrite the same problem and do it again until I get it right. What I find super duper helpful just to keep my head organized is to keep a planner. I have a planner, keep a calendar, keep something. And what I just like to do is write down when I have tests. Just on the open calendar view, like of the whole month overview, I just write when I have tests. That way I can look for it, I know when it's coming up, I know if I have 2 tests on the same day, or when I need to start studying for it. Because if I open my calendar up on Wednesday and see I have a test on Wednesday, now that's not too good. So I like to, you know, plan in advance when I'm going to have a test and know when I'm going to have it. A helpful way to take notes, I used to have to do this in high school and I hated it, and it didn't really work for me, but it's a helpful strategy that could help a lot of people. It's called Cornell Notes, C-O-R-N-E-L-L. So if you want to Google that, they have like a format for you to follow. But basically, if you just kind of want the brief overview without the all extra garbage, you're going to take your notes, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line down the side. So you have like a third and then the rest of the page. So you're going to take all your notes over here, categorize them how you want to. Now on this right column, that's going to be a little strip. You're going to write questions that pertain to the material over here. So say over here you have notes about World War II, which is such a tongue twister for me. On the right you might ask like, who was in World War II, or just stuff that pertains to your notes. So that way you can cover your notes and then read the questions and then quiz yourself almost. So the day before the test, what I like to do is I study for like an hour or 2 hours. And I try to break things up, like after every section or everything, you know, I'll just stop for a few minutes, you know, check my phone, check my email, whatever. Because you want to give your brain a little bit of break, because after about 30 minutes your brain just starts to lose a little bit of focus, so you want to kind of change things up. And then come morning time, I like to wake up maybe a little bit early and review for the test, or get to class early and just sit in class and kind of go through it, just to kind of refresh my memory and stuff. And now, I'm not telling you this, and hopefully my teachers aren't watching this, but a little tip, kind of cheating, it is cheating I guess, but I've done it before, especially for math. When you have to memorize formulas or like something weird, something small, and you don't want to write a whole paragraph, but if it's just like a little formula you need to memorize and you're having a little bit of trouble memorizing it, I like to take a pencil and write it on the desk as I'm reviewing, so it'll look like I'm writing notes, but I like write it right under it and kind of write on the desk. Shh, I didn't tell you that. So those are my studying tips. If you have any that I haven't mentioned, please leave them in the comments down below, so that way other people could read them and see what helps you, and maybe it'll help them too. So just kind of share amongst yourselves down in the comments, and I'd love to read them too. Maybe some of your ideas will help me study. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!